Just want to talk about housing benefit and stuff like, or benefits. I think they've got this benefit called universal credit, and then there's tax credit, or I have no clue what these things are. I think the governments should only help people if they are literally on the street and homeless. And I don't believe that housing benefits should be given to anyone unless you are literally on the street, in which case you should be literally given just a small room where you can put you and your four kids or whatever it is. I don't want people to be homeless. I think that's really bad. But by having housing benefit, you basically say, we're going to help you and we're going to screw everyone else who doesn't want help, because as we help you, the house market is going to rise and everyone else is going to have a higher pay. So not only do you need to take huge amounts of tax to fund the housing benefit scheme, you also screw over. So you screw them over by making houses more expensive, and you screw people over by saying we're going to take your tax money to pay for the thing that's going to make housing benefit. So I'm not no government should give housing benefit. You should get people. You should do some sort of scheme that gets people off the street and gets them living in a small studio flat, a tiny studio flat. When I say, even if it's like bunkers where you have like a bunk for your kid, a bunk for it should be absolute bare minimum. Whatever the cheapest flats are that you can rent, it should be smaller than that. That is what you should get. And by doing this, you will decrease the value of the houses so that houses will be more affordable and people could be more dependent on themselves and not dependent on the government. And so, I don't know, I've never looked into tax credit, but I know when I've actually looked at my account. I hate looking at money, so I have not been looking at my account, but I do actually have enough money to buy 60% of my sister's house. I went on my tax website, or the tax website, which is completely, I hate the tax website. There's all these weird buttons and you're trying to like figure out what does that do, and does this take, there is not clear at all. Whoever's done the website, I don't know, but I can't navigate through it. And I'm sure there's a page where it says you paid this much tax, or you would declare this much income this year, this come this year. And I've spent half an hour just flicking through all the different buttons, and it just kept leading me to dead ends. So I had to keep going back, and then let's try this sequence of buttons. Oh no, back. And I've been doing that for half an hour and I cannot find that page. I found a page where it said, it gave me how much I declared in two of the years, but when it came to 2023 to 24, and the other one 2022 to 23, there was no button to say how much I declared those years. It was just what's the government spending is on that year. So I don't know how I would find out what I declared that year. And then, because basically if I'm giving my sister 60,000 or 60,500, I reckon the people that deal with the housing benefit are going to be looking at my tax, or how much income I've declared, to make sure I'm not laundering anything. But yeah, I have no idea what they're going to find because I can't find anything. So your website is fucked up and doesn't work. But yeah, I found two of the years, and that would qualify me to be able to prove something. But yeah, I can't go any further than 2001. But I think there was quite a few. I think there was about 20,000 or 40,000 in the account by that, because I haven't worked in the last year, and the year before that. But yeah, it's really annoying. Then I've looked at what universal credit is, and apparently I could be making £400 a month just for doing absolutely nothing but declaring it, and I think that's terrible. But I don't know if I'd even qualify to it, because I do have 60,000 in my account. So it's just like, would I even qualify to get this universal credit? And then it's just I don't understand. I don't understand it. I have no idea what this is about. But I know that as soon as I've bought a quarter of this my sister's flat, another quarter, that is, actually it would be another quarter plus another 10%, which I have the money for. As soon as I've done that, I won't have any money in my account, so I'll have two options, which is to go back to work and do massage, which is something I really, really don't want to do. But at the end of the day, I feel like I can't just go another. I could definitely not go another winter. I hate England in the winter, when it's cold, when it's raining, when when you can't turn the heating on because you just feel like you're just spending pounds each second, and then you're thinking about how much better everyone else's life is, and you just want to murder everyone because you just feel so fucking depressed all the time. I can't go another winter like this, and I think the solution is to go back to work so that I don't even know, because I don't even feel like I want to spend money. I feel miserable, and I feel like I don't want to spend money because I want to be miserable, because I want to kill everyone, because I want to feel this anger towards just the human species. And universal credit is supposed to help people, but I'm thinking about how much I hate people. I'm just thinking this is just helping people. Every single person who is living in London right now and is only able to afford the rent because they're getting funding from the government. Well, I feel like the only reason why I can't live in London is because housing governments should not have anything to do with housing benefit, because if they do start having things to do with housing benefit, it increases the house. Government should have things to do with building houses and making sure there's enough houses, and creating schemes that build up more houses, but sells them to the general market, and making sure that they look tidy, making sure they look clean, making sure they're safe, making sure that people aren't building houses using Lego blocks and then pretending that they're using different materials to, or not Lego blocks, using fake foam blocks. I don't know. Those houses don't look very. They look good if it was a hot climate, but if they don't look very insulated. But yeah, they need to be doing stuff as in building up the city and providing more jobs by selling houses, but they should not be offering free housing accommodation to people. And I know universal credit is less because it's getting rid of the sort of housing benefit scheme. It's just annoying. I would like to live in London and I can't. Why? Because all the housing benefit scheme people are getting it, and then I don't know anything about universal credit, so I'm trying to work out what it is, and from my understanding, no fucking clue. I have no fucking clue what it is. It's just people saying, I don't have much money, I'm not earning that much money, so give me money. And apparently they can get £400, and if they start working, they earn less, but they will earn more overall, which is good. You should encourage people. That when I was on the dole, there was a lot of people that were saying that if they work, they'll make about 17,000, but if they don't work, they'll get 12,000 in income, in benefit, housing benefits, and money in being able to live. And they actually say that they're a lot richer not working. So that was a completely ridiculous scheme. Having some sort of scheme that takes 40% of hardworking people's money away from them, and then gives it to people to kind of force them to be poorer, but also just live off the government money. And I really, really didn't agree with any of that scheme. And I'm not convinced that universal credit is if I had a proper world, I wouldn't offer any type of housing benefit, because I know that whenever you start giving housing benefit to people, the housing market goes up, and then people can't afford housing benefits, so more people need the money to say if there's if houses are a few thousand a year, and then you start giving, and a bunch of people need money, you say, okay, well, we'll give you lots of money to live in these properties. Well, suddenly all the other properties, there's less of them, and then they become more expensive, and it's just, I don't know. I don't even know if I want. It's like going to the homeless shelter. My sister's way richer than me. She has she has a house and a flat, and she's in the process of buying a 2-bedroom house, and yet she does go to a food bank where she gets free food. And she says that all the people in there are just like her. They're not like people that are starving or anything. They're just people that just want to get free food because they can. And I just don't. I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong to go to a food bank. I don't mind. I love my reduced shopping. So I go to Sainsbury's and buy mouldy food, or food that is just get on its sell-by date, and are reduced by half and then half again. I like that, but I don't like the idea of just going into some place where they just give you free food. I don't like that, because I can do massage, I can work, and I do have money in the bank, and it's just really annoying. Because if I was spending £3,000 on a house in London or something, I wouldn't have money. and then I would start claiming benefits. And it's just, I shouldn't be allowed to. If people can't afford to live in London, they need to get the fuck out. They shouldn't just be like, oh, I can't afford it, give me money. No, you should say, sorry, you can't afford it, so you need to do what Anna did and go to Birmingham. Go somewhere cheaper. If it's the higher up, the more north you go, the cheaper it gets. And that's what you need to start telling people. You stop giving any kind of housing benefit or housing. Just say, if you can't afford it, move to somewhere smaller. And when you do that, someone else will move into the house. And okay, you might find that when loads of people start moving to cheaper houses, the property market gets lower, but that would benefit everyone. And then it's just really annoying how they're creating this terrible fucked up system where they're helping people that ask for help, and screwing over the people that don't want to ask for help. And I'm tired of this kind of system. And I like the idea of just being given £400. Yeah, just give me £400 for doing nothing. But to be honest, if I was to call up and ask me why I'm applying for universal credit, I would say it's because I'm God. I've been inspiring stuff. I feel like I can't get out of bed most days, and this world is just screwing me over because no one's talking to me, and yet billions of people are making money out of me. You know, how if I say that to them, they're just going to think that oh yeah, you're crazy. Okay, yeah, we can give you some universal credit on the account that I'm insane. No, I don't even. It would be nice to just get, because then I don't have to go back to a massage, and I could still. But once I if I own 60% of Sophie's house, then that would bring me in about £6,000 a year for doing nothing. So. That sounds kind of appealing, but I don't know. I don't like the idea of universal credit, and there's a lot of things that I don't like. I think people who work hard shouldn't have shouldn't have 40% of their money stripped away from them. I want to lower. There are some things that tax needs to be paid for, but you should not use it to pay for people who don't want to work. That's not something that your tax money should be used for. You need to make sure these people are not on the streets, because LA looks disgusting with just streets and streets of homeless people. I mean, I know what I would do if I was Hitler. I would know exactly what I would do, but I'm too depressed to care. That's how it is. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like. There's a lot of things that I don't like. I don't like how you take money off people who have managed to get a good job. I don't like how you overpay people as well. There's a ton of people that are getting overpaid for work that is completely unnecessary. I don't know how the taxpayers, I don't know how the tax actually works, because there's huge amounts of money that going to people, just going to the wrong places. There's huge amounts of fraud and people not doing things properly, and I feel like there's so many problems, and everyone's just trying to sugarcoat everything to make it look like, like we're all just helping everyone else. And really you're not helping everyone else. We can be like, okay, yeah, we'll give 1,000 people, or no, 1 million people. We'll give 1 million people, £400 a month for doing absolutely nothing. My sister is autistic, yes, and she gets that £400 a month for doing absolutely nothing. So not only is she richer than me, not only is she's got huge amounts of help with her children, going through all these programs, she also gets benefit on top of that, and it's just. I don't want to claim for benefit, because I don't believe that they should be offering people like me benefit. If you are able to work, but I'm not able. I am able to. I can go back to massage if I want, but I don't want to, because it's a degrading job, considering I know that I'm God. I don't know what to do. I think I'd rather just lie here and be miserable.